Okay, hi and hello everyone. Welcome to Wednesday and Mini Mayhem. I am Vee Mus'e. I will be your host for today, and I have some fun things planned for today. I thought it would be great if we could take a look at using some more of the next round of WarLock tiles that are coming out, and this is the WarLock Tiles 2. This is both for dungeon tiles as well as for town and village, and these sets are great because instead of the half walls that came with the WarLock Tiles 1 sets, these are full height walls. So these walls are 2 inches in height. And I thought today what I would do is sit down with you all and take a look at pulling a room together. And since we have this really cool set coming out with our UPM line, the WizKids Deep Cuts Vikings, I thought it'd be fun to use that and create this sort of great hall situation setup so that you can see an idea of what can be put to use. So I'm going to be pulling from that set. I'm going to be pulling from some other sets that I have already shared with you here on Mini Mayhem. But before we get started with that, just a couple little housekeeping things. If you haven't yet, if you are new here, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below, because if you click on that, it's a good thing. And also it's a great thing if you ring the bell, because then you know when live streams like this happen, as well as when we have video uploads that are coming out to you so you can get a closer look at some of our products. Along with that, there's also information in the description below. I try to make a point of providing links as well as MSRP and SKUs for the products that you're going to be seeing today. If you have any questions, for those of you in the chat, I do see some people in the chat, hi and hello, please be sure to type in all caps, question with your question following. It just makes it easier for me to quickly glance over here and check out the chat and see if there's something I need to address and hopefully be able to answer for you right here, right now, off the top of my head. So that being said, what I first want to do is show you, I'm going to flip to our features here. I first want to show you this Viking set, and it's cycling through as a little slideshow here. So this Viking set, it comes unpainted. It is of the Deep Cuts line for WizKids. And you get all of these great pieces that help create this setup of a Viking settlement type of thing. You get things along with accessories. You also get some miniatures as well. So you're going to see me put these to use. But as you can see here, you'll be getting things like the shield. The shield, of course, you can paint however you want. You have the Earl. You have the Earl in 2 positions. He is standing, but he also comes in a sitting position because he sits in a throne, which quite frankly I think looks fantastic. You can see that right there. Along with that, you'll get some other miniatures that are great fodder for NPCs in your campaigns, whether you are doing something for D&D, Pathfinder, or another system. These really are a great variety. So that's the throne on its own, because you can actually remove the mini in and out. You have a Viking guard. Actually, you get 2 of them. You get a male and you get a female. So that's the male. Female should be cycling in soon. There she is right there. Along with the guards, you also get free people. So there is a miniature that is a freeman, and you also get a miniature that is a free woman. So here is the freeman, and up next will be the free woman. On top of those, you're going to be getting a servant as well as a farmhand. I'm trying to think of what else we have floating around here. Hello, RJ. You know what? It's actually kind of overcast and rainy today. Not exactly the best weather here where I am either. Here is the farmhand in her form. You can see right there. And then along with these, you have other accessories. That is the servant, as well as you can see, has this pitcher as well as a tray of food, which is a lot of fun. I'm showing you the painted versions of these in render form, and as opposed to showing you the white variety, because remember, these come primed. So it's primed, ready to use out of the box, which I think is ever so helpful. You get this wonderful thing, a fire pit, which I'm going to show you in action because you get that transparent plastic as well that's put to use where the coals are pictured. I did a quick little mock of that, as well as a meat spit. So really, there's a lot of little accents that make this fun and interesting. Now, when it comes to using the tiles, what I'm going to be doing, let me switch back over here to our overhead. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using the tiles from the Town and Village set. Reason why I went with these ones, the Town and Village 2 tiles, is because you have the plaster and wood setup, which if you looked at longhouses, it's a similar concept that go in Viking longhouses, which is why I'm tending to go with this one as opposed to the Dungeon Tiles 2, which is all stone walls. So I'm going to be using Town and Village 2. I'm using both from the Town and Village 2 set as well as from the expansion, because I did need a couple of extra pieces from the expansion pack. Now, all of these are up and available for pre-order, and they will be coming out December 2020. So please keep that in mind. If this is something that is of interest to you, I've for something you want to get for the holidays, then by all means go to shop.wizkids.com and make sure to check out the pre-order section. So that is the plan today, to use the Town and Village set. But what I always like to do ahead of time, and this is something people have been asking me when it comes to creating these rooms, I like to create a visual setup first. So I'll set it up before using any of the clips or anything like that. So you can see right here on the screen, this is the layout I basically did a rough setup for. There are no clips involved yet, and keep in mind with these sets, the new easy clips are going to be included with these sets. Those are the clips that are quicker and faster to put together. So this is the layout I'm going for, sort of like this tiered, almost stacked form, but I'm gonna build it here live for you all to see how quick and easy it is to put these together. So let's put the layout to the side for now. We'll put it there. I'm gonna pop it up every so often. And as you can see, I already pulled out one of the pieces here, but I have a little bag of tricks here. Let me pull everything out that I'm going to need. So what I'm gonna be using are the easy clips. All right, these are the easy clips. These are the ones that are faster and quicker to put together, but keep in mind that it can sometimes make for a more, not floppy, but flexible floor setup. So what I always do is I'm gonna just get the floor going first, because that makes it a heck of a lot easier. And as you saw, it was sort of this stacked setup. And I'm going to use the stone floor, all right? So I'm going for the stone floor just because I thought that would be something fun to do. And this is basically what I do to get myself going, because I find it's easier when it comes time to assembling all of this, is to make sure that you have everything out, ready, and accessible. Makes it so much easier. And actually what I did is I just put everything I needed for the room into a bag. So if I was running a game and I knew I was gonna have like a quick 10-minute break, like send the players upstairs, grab a snack, bio break type of thing, I would then take that time for myself, well, to do the same, but also it would give me time to get everything pulled together and just know it's there and set and ready. So I'm just getting everything pulled out of this bag that I need. You can see I'm putting all of the wall pieces to the side because those will get addressed in just a few minutes. And then I'm getting the floor layout established. I'm half tempted to dump everything onto the table, but that's gonna get really loud really fast. Okay, so keep going with this. You can kind of see where I'm going here now. And then, of course, the floor tiles have all fallen down to the bottom of the bag. But I just know that I have everything right where I need it to be, so I can get moving along quickly. Okay, so here we go. Just a couple more pieces that I need to have come out. I can honestly say this used a good chunk of the Town and Village 2 set itself, and I had to go into the expansion and pull out the 2 inner corners that come with that expansion pack. It's one of those things where if you're not familiar with the expansions, those are basically, they have extra walls, extra windows, extra inner walls, extra columns, extra, and it just helps to have those on hand. Okay, so let me just quickly, I want to pull up my reference photo again so I can take a look here. Okay, and then I have, looking here, I have these two at the bottom, right? So let me see here. So basically what I've done here is I have that going, and you can see that I think this needs to go bumped up a bit. Am I missing some tiles? I might be. Here we go. So it's like this. Put that together, and then, okay, so I have one row here, 1, 2. So I think I have 2 more tiles I need to snag. Which should hold. There's one. Yep, that's what happened. There's another tile. They're holding on me. And there's one more floating around in my bag, I think. Still pulling these out. That's the fun thing. You can always like explore and do different things and create different stuff. While I'm doing this, let me talk about the fact that we have some really cool accessory sets that are also coming out here. I am using the Vikings, like I said. I'm using the Viking sets ahead of time. How am I short a tile? Somehow I have lost a towel. One quick second here. I'm gonna go into the, see, this is the Town and Village box. And I'm just gonna pull out another one of my 2x2 tiles. There we go. That gets it going. So along with the Viking set, we have some ones that are coming out in the new year. We have one that is a torture chamber. Not even kidding. We have a torture chamber that will be coming out. And then we also have a kitchen as well as a tavern. So these accessory sets are perfect for if you want to create these different rooms. So I have my layout going now. As you can see, this is what I needed from before. So this is the floor setup. Now the easiest thing to do is to start assembling these in rows and then you pop them together. Oh, and I see some more people are joining us. Hello, George. Hello, PL. Hello, Mike. And the windows do switch. I was actually going to show you that one. The windows do switch for your question there, Mike. And again, don't forget, if you're jumping in after I made the announcement, if you want your questions to be seen faster, type in the word question. It makes it so much easier for me to be able to do that. So with these accessory sets, they are all in the $49.99 price range, and they are coming out in February 2021. I can't believe we are throwing that word around right now. And as you can see right now, I am just starting to pop these together. And basically, what you can do is create these different rooms by putting these different sets into use. Like the tavern has things like beer kegs, a bar set up, a bartender miniature that comes with it. The kitchen has things that you would find in a kitchen. It actually has like a kitchen countertop set up and some food products as well as a kitchen servant. It really is lots of fun to sort of be able to just on the fly create different room setups. So like I said, today we're doing a simple, well, not a simple, but we're doing a great haul because I want to use this Viking set, which I can't wait to show you. And you can see I'm just quickly popping these all together. These I'm going to wait on. This is just one of my quick and easy strips. Let me get this put together. And you can just see it's sort of this quick assembly line process. And let's see here. And hello, Leonard. Hello, Miguel. Thank you. I'm going to do these side pieces together like this on a horizontal setup. Okay, now what I'm going to do is you can see I have these separated rows. So I'm going to start putting things together here. I'm going to start from the bottom up. And it's always, if you haven't seen this before, what you want to do is make sure you're putting your clip in the center position of the tiles, okay? This makes it so that you can take things like the inner walls and have them rest. You can see like that, rest around the clip. Okay, that's how these function. You want to make sure that you have that going. And then it's just a matter of sliding in like that. I'm telling you, I really do appreciate and enjoy these easy clips because of how quickly these things go together. Now that is not to say the other standard clips are great. If you are having something like, say this is a place that I know that my players are going to keep revisiting. If I know this is going to become a common scene in my campaign, I would be assembling this with the original clips because they are slightly more sturdier, okay? They have a stronger connection point, so it makes it easier to do things like pick things up and move them around as you go. So that is just something to keep in mind. And give me just a quick second here. All right. Keep going. And again, just insert that center. And then line everything up. And pop, pop, pop all the way down. Ta-da. So my room is starting to take shape. Let me see here. Hello, Elliot. I'm just looking over the chat. Yes, they are a fun series that'll be coming out, Chris. And then on top of that, we do have some other, pardon my clacking as I talk, we do have another series coming out of dungeon style tiles, or WarLock Tiles, I should say. Just a second. As it gets longer, I have to kind of pull it closer to me. So on top of those, you can also expect coming out, and these are going to be coming out January 2021. How are we there already? And that is something I think you're all going to be rather excited for. because it's involving different shapes. People have been asking, is there going to be something that's going to allow for diagonal hallways, curves, and everything like that? And the answer is very much yes. Actually, they are coming out and they are up for pre-order right now on the shop.wizkids.com. But please also don't forget, you can check with your FLGS and see if you can place an order with them, especially for pre-orders. Don't forget, many friendly local game stores, that's what FLGS means, they have it going where they'll do things like curbside pickup, or they'll even ship to your home. So let me go over back to the features. We're going to tuck the Vikings away and bring this up. So these are the curves. So this is the dungeon tile curves. As you can see, it's the WarLock Tiles 3 set is what we're calling these. So you get your curves, and here we have the Town and Village 3, which gives you your angles. And there are special tiles that work with these, so you can actually start building things and getting some really cool shapes going. So again, available for pre-order for these as well, but those are targeted as of now for January 2021. Keep in mind, sometimes things will shift, especially because, you know, the world. Sometimes shifting happens because shipping gets delayed. So just keep that in mind. Right now, the target is January. So if this is something where you want to do things like build towers, add in like a corkscrew room, or like almost like a Winchester house type thing, these are going to be such a fantastic asset. And those are selling for $79.99. And I have put, or I will put the information down below after this stream for those of you who are interested in this one. Let's see here. Can you use, I'm getting a question, can you use all the expansions together? The town, yes, I have intermixed everything works together. That's a very good question. Everything does work together with these tile sets. Now keep in mind, with the expansion sets, you don't get tiles in them. Exception to the rule, of course, is the curves and the angle sets, because there are specialty tiles that are involved in that one. But you can very much have different walls in different spots. I do it all the time. In fact, I'll even flip things around. You know what? Let's do that right now. Let's do that because of how I have this particular room planned. You can even have it where, let's say this is a wood floor meeting up to a stone floor. Okay, so you can very much swap and interchange how things work together. You can even cross the half walls with the full walls. I do that if I want to have a multi-layer stacked setup. But yeah, definitely. We do have plans to make sure, George, that when there are half walls, we will have full walls coming down the pipeline too, is the plan for these. So here we have the basic floor setup, all right? Now I want to go through and start adding in my corners and my walls. So I'm starting up here at the top, and as you can see, let me show you the difference here. So for exterior corners, you'll find the openings on the inside area so that they can pop in like that. For the interior corners, you are going to see it's on the outside of the corner, but that's so that it can tuck in like so. All right, those are the differences between the corner pieces that we have going on in these sets, and that's for every set. So just keep that in mind. I'm gonna need to spill out some more of my clips over here. Let's see here. Oh, you're never late, Ron. You come just in time when you're able to, and your presence is always very much appreciated. So right now what I'm doing is I'm working from the top bottom. I know I need my 2 corners at the top, as well as my, nope, hold on. Let's put it on this one. I'm gonna go here. Now be careful that you feed it into that center post, because if you try and put it so it's straddling, the clip will not work. That is something else you do need to keep in mind. I see often happening. And again, I'm just gonna quick flip over to my layout reference because I need to remind myself what I did here. Okay, so now I'm shifting over to a wall with a column. So what I'm doing here at this point on either side, actually, I think that was a window too. So let's take a look at the windows. It was asked, do the windows pop out? Yes, they do. So if you want to have it more fancy, the fancier molding, you can pop that in and place it. If I wanted to have something that was a little bit more simplified and just clean lines, I would pop it in that way. All right, so you can switch the windows around to answer your question there. And I want fancy. So I'm gonna put window there. Where's my other window? Here we go. And window there. And then these are the columns, okay? So these, remember, they help edge out corners nicely. So you'll see what I'm going to do here is first I'm going to put in the walls of the windows, like so. Will not push the window out. And then what happens, and I'll show you on a separate piece, there is this opening right here. And that allows you to pop these in, no problem, holds it nice and secure. But this is going to keep things from having this little dip in. Instead, it's going to, hold on, let me get it on the right spot. There we go. It's going to get it so that you get a nice corner formed right there. So that's what those are for. If you haven't started putting these together and gotten yourself familiar with your various pieces, that's what that does. It's also, I'm trying to blindly put these in. So right now I'm just tilting the piece up. No, I'm going to go from this side. Spinning, 1 moment, please. It's just a matter of pushing in like that. Okay, and now I believe what I did here was another inner corner setup. So like this. Yeah, that's what I did. So let me grab a couple more here. I like doing these on the fly builds too, so you can see. Now granted, I'm also chattering and showing as I go along, so by nature it takes a little bit longer. This is a room build that probably would take me 10 minutes to do it on my own independently if I wasn't sitting here showing all the pieces and talking about the different features for reference and time. And again, because I have this happening, grabbing another one of these, popping that in. And then you do the same thing over here, grab a wall. Don't forget, with the walls themselves, you get these fun little openings so that you can put accessories onto the wall. That is the difference between the 2 and the 1 sets. With the half walls, we do not have accessory pieces that you can plug into the walls themselves. Because these are 2 inches high, you can go in and you can plug in different accessories if you want to. Dungeon Tiles comes with different ones from what Town and Village comes with. So just keep that. Town and Village has swords, and a shield and a sword set up, as well as lanterns. Dungeon Tiles has, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, has another thing and banners that go with it as well. All right, so I am moseying along. Let me see here. I know that these are gonna have to go here. I'm gonna do that, move that forward, and then, oh, that's right. I opted to do this. Move these over here. Oh, see, there's my other tile. I had it. It was there, it was hiding. So what I opted to do for this section was to go into the walls instead of doing the corners. I had more corners. It was just one of those things. I was using mostly everything from the set itself and not pulling from too much of the expansion set. And hello, Fred. Thank you for joining. You find the clicking zen? I can see that. I can see how that happens. So I'm almost done with the room shape itself, which I'm quite happy about. And again, telling you, I love the corner pieces because of how quickly they're able to just lock in and you're good to go. Now, I could have planned this if I wanted to, of putting an extra strip in the center here so that it was an odd number, because if it's something where you want to center your doors, you do need to make sure you have an odd tile count just from how it works. But I've been playing around with some permutations, and so I'll show you what I ended up doing for the door once I get that plugged into place. Okay, so now we're at the point where we have the door going in. What I'm doing for the door form is I actually took 2 of those and put them on either side of the door here. Now this is the double swing door. Don't forget, exterior doors are functioning. Okay, so they open, close, open, close. The interior doors do not do that. So just keep that in mind. What I did here is I put these columns on either side. And then I'm just gonna go in here and put it so that it fits here-ish, she says. There we go, so it fits there, okay? So it's still slightly offset, but it's not quite as much so if I were to put it right up against. And that means I can now take a wall and pop this into position. And it is cheating a little bit because I'm going into, not the center pieces, but I also know I don't have, let me push that in a little bit harder. There we go. So that's what I have done with the door. And now my room is layout-wise assembled. But you can see there, if you pick this up, it does have some bending to it. So this is the type of thing with this size room, I definitely recommend you build it in situ on the table where you need it, okay? I'm now gonna turn it in this direction just so you can see the full layout. So now I have my floors established, the layout that I wanna have. Printable accessories. That's an interesting question, Chris, but that's not one that I can answer to. I haven't heard of anything in particular in the works about whether or not we'd be doing 3D print file options. But it is a good question. Let me just quickly jump over to the chat. Well, the other thing, Ron, is even if you don't necessarily use this, if you prefer to use your battle maps, you can also put these onto your battle map, and you don't necessarily have to use the clips if it's something where speed is of the essence for you. All right, so what I am going to do now is I'm going to go back in, and these are the wall accessories I was talking about, because I want to put a couple of those up and around the rooms. So here we have, you can see this is the shield and sword, as well as the lantern. Now keep in mind, the lantern hangs down, it doesn't flip up. So I'm gonna put a lantern on this wall, and it just goes right into that little post. In fact, I'll show you how it works. So see, you have that, and then you just pop it in, give it a little push to secure it, and there you have your lantern placed on your wall. So I'm going to do that because now what I'm going to do is turn these into their own little independent rooms. So that's where I'm taking my walls. So I just put in a wooden plaster interior, and now I'm going to put in a door. And that gives me a little side room to my Great Hall. I'm going to do the same thing over here. And this is why I said it's important to use that center post, because now my walls, interior walls, can straddle that clip, and you get everything in place. So now we have two little side storage rooms with door entries. Here is my main area. I thought it would be fun. What I did is I pulled out a couple of pieces. Actually, let me finish with the accessories. I'm going to put a lantern here because why not? Where else could I put? Because I used corner pieces. The corner pieces do not have the accessory feature, so keep that in mind. If I wanted to do, like, say I wanted to put accessories here on the wall, I would use 2 wall pieces, or 4 rather. I would use 4 wall pieces as well as the columns here, and then I'd have the ports for the accessories. But I've just put my accessories in, so I'm going to put these back in their bag. Do the pools and pillars accessories fit? They should. Actually, yes, they should, because it's the same function, it's the same design. So that's a good point. Fred, you can take your wall accessories from other sets from WizKids and use those to be interchangeable. That's a very good point and a very good question to bring up. Thank you for bringing that up. Let me see here. Destral, I'm just reading your comment about how the technique of putting them together. It's one of those things where I think people, because we all come, I think a lot of it has to do with other assembly pieces where it's just like click and go. But yeah, there is a slight finesse to these. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start jumping into the accessories to dress up this room, because that's really what makes it set the scene. So I know these are my little side storage rooms. What I'm going to do is I'm going into my doors and archways set, which, by the way, I've completely taken out of their packet and just kind of put into a Tupperware thing, because that's how I like to store my terrain. I'm going to take one of the trap doors, and remember, these trap doors do function like so. So I'm going to have it where here we have a nod to a lower level. Okay, so I'm putting in the trap door there, right there. You can see it right there. So I'm going to put one of those in, and then, oh, you know this. Oh, the stag heads. That would have been. That would have been fun. Keep that in. I'm going to keep that in mind for the tavern. How about that? When I get the tavern set, I want to do a tavern build. I thought that would be a fun thing to do. And now what I'm doing is I'm going over to the stairs and ladders set, and what I did is pull off the top pieces to the stair sets because I want to create a little dais here. So I'm going to take the 2 small square ones first. I'm going to put them here, like a so. All right? So they're right here. And actually, I'm glad I flipped it over to the wood. Now I'm going to take the other 2 and place them here. And you're going to see why in just a minute. Okay, so just get everything to kind of just fiddle a little bit. There we go. All right, so now I have my little dais here. So this nice little lifted section to the floor, which, again, sort of antes up the interest factor. And now it's time to move my bag, and we're going to jump over to the Vikings. Now, these are unpainted. Okay, so what I actually did is I made a point of going through and giving these a quick wash so that you can see the details better. But when you get these, And this is because of studio lighting. White miniatures and studio lighting, always a fun combination. When you first get these, you will get them in this form, okay? It is primed, ready to go, and paint. And this is one of the kegs with its stand, and I love the fact that you can actually remove. Modularity. I'm all about the modularity. So this is one of those kegs. So let me show you what I've done. I've just put a black wash on these so you can see the detail better. It's pretty much, it's the exact same miniature, but now, look, ta-da, you can see the details on this one. And actually, let me go to my camera. That's not my camera. This is my camera. So here we have the camera. And I am just going to zoom in a little bit here. This happens a lot on Mini Mayhem because it goes from what we need to focus on to the other things we need to focus on. And since I'm going to show you these Viking minis, I'm just going to do this for now. But you can see, you get this great wood grain detail. And this is just a black wash, which actually is a lot of fun to do when you're painting miniatures, because then what I'm going to do is go back in when it comes time to paint these, is do more of a glaze approach as opposed to a full paint approach. And it'll actually play with a black wash underneath. It's kind of a fun and quick way to do a sort of an assembly line, faster paint on miniatures. If this is something you needed on the table for tomorrow, I would say black wash first, then go in and do glazes, which are thinned out paints. And it still lets the black wash show through, so you still get your depth. But that is one of the kegs, and I think I'm gonna put one of these guys, let's put this into the other room. So I'm gonna put this one in this room. Okay, this is where they're storing the mead. Possibly, right? It's mead for Vikings. And I'm just gonna rest it up on its stand right there. Okay, so now I have that there. And then here is the fire pit I was talking about. All right, I went in and I took my washes and I basically did a yellow wash and then I did a black wash on top of it to start getting this burning coal thing effect, which you can see. Well, once I fix the focus, you can see that it will pick up. Oh, use this. It'll pick up what's underneath because it is that clear plastic, so just keep that in mind. You could even sort of have like a lighting feature underneath if you wanted, but I wanted you to see the details on this. That's why I did the washes, so these pop out just a little bit better for you, because like I said, the white and the miniatures with the lighting, it's not the best combination. So that is that piece. This is the other thing that I very much like. And oh, where did I put that little bag? Hold on. That's why I wanted to keep this out. Remember how you're talking about do these cross-reference each other? So you have these pillars, okay? And I love, look at this knotwork first of all. The Celtic, not the Celtic, the Viking knotwork going on here. It's on all sides. So cool looking, but you'll see once again, there are these port openings. So I think what I'm gonna do here is I'll show you what it looks like. And then, does it fit? Oh, it doesn't fit in these. No, separate set, does not fit. So my idea just went out the window. But they do come with their own shields. And I'll show you what the shields look like. They come on little sprues here. Okay. And then I'm just gonna pop one off now because you get 8 of these shields. And I'm just going to place it into that same spot so you can give it the shield accent. You could actually put 4 all around if you wanted to. I'm just gonna stick with 1 in each. And I'm gonna put it, let's put it here because I have plans. We get another shield off there and get the other one out. You get 2 of these. All right, so I'm gonna put the shield in this one too. Click, click, and it goes, and it stays. It stays put. I get people saying, but does it stay inside? It does. And I'm just gonna pop this over here. Once I get this all set up, I'll fix the focus back in, but I wanted you to see these pieces as I lay them out. You also get this fantastic table with the wood grain detail on top, even details on the side of the table, and a fur tablecloth, I guess we're gonna call that, on top. So I'm gonna place that, let's put this here. Yeah, we're gonna put it there. And along with that, you get 2 benches. And I'm really excited for all these little details that go into these. See, look at those details. Isn't that fun? So you get 2 of those. I'm gonna put that down there. Second bench, same setup. Even underneath, you get the wood grain detailing all the way through. And again, this is the Viking set. This is coming out in December. This is from the WizKids Deep Cuts Vikings. It is unpainted minis. Oh, and here we go. Here we have, let me get him out. So here we have the Earl in his throne. So here is the throne. Again, I just did a quick black wash because I really wanted you to see the details in all of these and have them show off a little bit better for you. But you have the shield, you have the sword on the side, and then you have the Earl. And I love the positioning. Just this expression on his face. But you have the Earl who just basically pops right into the throne to sit down. And that's why I have the dais here. I am going to set that right there. And let's keep going. Let's see here. Yeah, actually, Lance, you can, with the full walls, you can make these stackable. In fact, I did that. If you go back, I want to say it was in the September Mini Mayhem, I showed you how you can make various level floors using WarLock Tiles with the WarLock Tile 2 sets. So here we have the farmhand. I'm going to put her just coming in. And then we have the Viking Guardsman. And let's put him over here. Actually, let's put him here, guarding the Earl. Speaking of the Earl does come standing as well, which I like. So if you want to have it, you know, where the Earl is walking around the room, interacting with other characters, you've got that, or you can have him just sort of lounging and sitting in his chair, watching the festivities of what's going on. I will put him over there for now. And then here we have another servant. I really love the details here. They all have great expressions, and there's just those little extras like, look, the shield in the back, it has the wood grain as well as the handles going on through there. We'll put him over here. And here is the free woman. She's got this great stern expression on her face, but you can see the details that go into her form right here. Maybe she is talking with the Earl. Let's do that. And here is the servant. Like I said, he has a tray of food, which you can see right there. That's the other great thing with the kitchen accessory that's coming out for WarLock. That has, there's a pig and there is a turkey. Like sort of with like all the trimmings. It's just, and loaves of bread are included with the tavern. Put him over here by the table. No, maybe he was sampling from the picture. They do not come with their black discs attached. Just keep that in mind. All right, who else do we have here? We have the female Viking guard. I will put her by the front door. And I have a couple more. Here is the spit, the meat spit. So what I think I'll do is, let's say, maybe over here-ish. Let's do this. We'll put the coals there and the meat spit on top, because that's where it's cooking. Really, this is probably something more that, you know, if you put it out into an open area, that would make a lot more sense. The tavern does come with a fireplace. So, oh, that would have been fun if I had a fireplace to put in here. And then here we have the freeman with this great cape and fur trim detail on there. So I'll put him here near the tables. Maybe he's about ready to sit down. And really all that's left in this set are more shields. Like I said, you get 8 of those. And you also get stands for the shields, which are these right here. So you can pop the shields off and put them in, you can see right there. So one on each side to lean up on the stand as well. So I'll put them here. We'll put them in this storage area here. And then what else could I use? Because I did grab a couple other sets for fun. I'm going to look into dungeon dressings, which is from the first round. Let's see here. I'm just quickly checking the chat. What else could I put in here? Let's put a little bit more storage in here. We'll put a crate over here from the dungeon dressings. And these do come painted ahead of time. All right, you can see them all painted. And what else? Maybe I'll put a chair there. Whoop. Slippery little sucker. I'm gonna put a keg or barrel as the one thing. Just watch where you're reaching. And let me fix the focus back down again now. Okay, so now you can see this room is fully laid out and everything is going on here. And anything else I can pop in here for fun? Oh yeah, the classic smaller keg on the stand. Let's put that over here too. I think I'm gonna call it for that from the dungeon dressings. But you can see how, like I said, because I am talking and showing you things at the same time, it's taking me a little bit longer to get the setup. But basically, this just took me 20 minutes to put together. If I were to factor out how the stopping and the explaining, it probably would have taken me only 10 minutes. So like I said before, if it's something where you are running a game and you need to change scenes, take a break, quickly put everything together, and you are set for your next encounter for your game. And I think it's just a really cool and fun way to set the scene and get things going so people can get more into the game itself. I find when I use terrain when I run games as a DM that as soon as you put something onto the table, people start thinking way outside the box. Suddenly it's like, I'm going to hide behind the column. I'm going to jump onto the table. I'm going to flip the table so I can get half cover or 3/4 cover, things like that. It really does add a new dynamic to gameplay, not knocking theater of the mind because I play that half the time anyways. But when it comes to a situation where you're able to sit down at a table together and play the game out, it gives you that much more to work with. It was really just a lot of fun and something else to keep in mind. So this is all done using the Town and Village 2 full walls. That means they're 2 inches high, as well as its expansion pack. And then I use the WizKids Deep Cut Vikings set. Again, it comes unpainted but primed, so you can paint it up. I'm using that to sort of give it this Great Hall Viking set feeling. And I also tapped in a little bit into the Dungeon Dressings, which is a set that came out previously. I keep knocking these over. Which is a set that came out previously, the first round, with the WarLock Tiles 1. It's a great mix of various things. You have treasure chests, you have boulders, you have some rubble, and things like the chairs and tables and benches. It's just a good way to sort of pizzazz and add a little bit more to your setting. But you can see here, there's different places they could go looking. You could have them go in here and find, oh, well, it's just a keg full of mead. They can go into this room. It's like, okay, well, yeah, there's a couple of shields here, but what's down there? And literally you can take it to a new level. And if you go back and you watch one of the previous streams, I showed you how you can have different floors set up side by side. So if the party should split, one group can go down and explore whatever the lower level is, while the other group is still... I need to stop. This is what happens when you talk with your hands. You can also explore this room at the same time, and everyone sees what's going on here as well. Stay. So that is another quick room build for you. And again, you have the fun of thinking outside the box, using the stairs and ladders a little bit differently by just taking the top portions and creating a dais. So you could put your throne right there, and now the Earl's sitting up even higher. Magnets. You could try adding magnets after the fact if you wanted to. Go for it. Let me see here. Anything else? Magnetics. So that is this particular room setup. I'm just going to spin it around a little bit so you can see the different angles here. Okay, we're going to move these. I would definitely recommend getting those onto bases because it is a smaller base. You could even do clear if you wanted to. If you ever wanted to get clear bases, you know, there are certain stores online. You could very easily find those. I'm just going to do a slow spin here so you can see from different angles as well. But it's just a fun way to sort of get everyone further into the game and set your scene. You know, you can also do fun stuff like, you know, hey, a creature's actually been hiding and it pops out, surprise, and now you have to protect the Earl and his denizens and everything like that. But yeah, this is, again, using those easy clips as well. I'm not going to be able to pick this up now because of the easy clips. If this were done with the standard clips, I would be able to pick those up. But if I do that now, everything's just going to kind of bow over. If it's something where you do want to be able to move these around, a little tip for you. I highly recommend putting a piece of cardboard underneath, even like a cereal box cardboard. It gives you that much extra bit of support underneath, so if you wanted to lift and move, you can do that too. But here we have that room. So as you can see, I'm going to shift this over to here. Here we have the room built, and like I said before, I just make a point of getting the layout going ahead of time, so it makes it faster for me to, on the fly at the table, quickly put things together. So I do recommend doing that sort of a test run setup. You don't have to use the clips. You just can put things out so you get your layout going. But that's what I did there. Let's see here. So that is that. And you can do this as well with the half walls if you wanted to. That's not to say you couldn't have done this with the half walls either, but you do have the ability now, because these are the full walls. If I wanted to, I could do the second level. Like say there is a level up here. Okay. So I can put it, let me just hold on. Checking some stream settings. We're good. So you could even build out a level that would fit in this square here. You understand what I'm saying there? Or, you know, with a longhouse factor, you could make it long and narrow. Have it span across this if you wanted to. And that way you get multiple stories going, and you move it and place it to the side, and ta-da. So just something fun to think about. So what I'm going to do right now, let's flip back over. Like I said before, we do have the curves and the angles coming out for WarLock Tiles, Dungeon Tiles, and Town and Village 3. So this is where you're getting curvature as well as different angles to really create some dynamic pieces. And yes, I absolutely do plan on showing these sets to you, as well as doing another room build using these, because I think it'd be a lot of fun. Like I'm looking at the curves and I'm thinking, oh, you know, something halfling-ish that we could create on stream together. And then it's one of those things where you have the different angles too. So if you want the hallway going at a diagonal, like we see in many of the traditional dungeon layouts, you will have that ability now too. So these are available for pre-order, $79.99. You can contact your FLGS, do reach out to them, say, hey, I saw this, I want it, and hopefully they can work with you on that. If for some reason that isn't an option for you, if there's not an FLGS by you, if you want to check, you can always use this link that's literally right below me right now, the WizKids.io/local store. That'll help you find a store near you. If that's not an option, hop over to the next one, which is the shop.wizkids.com. We do have these up for pre-order there, and we're looking at January 2021. In terms of the WarLock Tile 2 tiles, which is what I just showed you in Town and Village form, that's the 2-inch high walls, those are available for pre-order now, coming out in December. Definitely a great idea as a gift for your DM or your GM or your storyteller of your various tabletop roleplay games. Just something fun to keep in mind. And I do always recommend that when you get these, that you do get the expansion sets, because it helps add in a couple of additional pieces. Like I said, I tried to pull as much from the set itself, but I did have to tap into my expansion to pull in a couple more interior corners. So it does help to have those extra bits of walls. You do not, in those expansion sets for 2, get the additional tiles. However, for the curves and the angles, you do get additional tiles, because those tiles are needed to help start creating those angles and those curvatures when you put them up against the traditional tiles. This all works together. Everything that has the WarLock name to it means it all interlocks and works with it, with each other. All right, so just keep that in mind. So as future sets come out, it means that it will work with, I just looked at the chat and saw Fred's comment, take all my money. I mean, I could happily oblige. I'm kidding. But just keep in mind that these, yes, are meant to work and interchange and interlocked with one another. And don't forget, we also have the locks where you can work them with open lock as well as dragon lock too, should you already have those pieces printed out and in your collection as it is. This is made to function with those as well. You just need to make sure that you get the specialty clips that make it so it converts from the one to the other. So just keep that in mind for dragon lock and open lock. And along with that, we have coming out in the February month, you have some accessory sets that I'm especially excited for, because it's very similar to the whole Viking set in terms of you will get a variety of miniatures in terms of NPCs for you, as well as accessories. So the kitchen gives you some kitchen aspects as well as a server. The tavern is going to give you a bartender as well as a bar table and that type of thing. And the torture chamber, I mean, that, you know, it's, you have your torturer, the assistant, and the things like the Iron Maiden and the rack, and a few of the other things that some of them might be familiar to those of you who are familiar with our unpainted miniatures from the Deep Cuts line. So just keep that in mind. It's one of those things where you really can change and alter your scenes quickly just by how you put in different accessories into your room builds and adjust the shape of your room and things like that. But yeah, I thought it'd be fun to kind of take a look at the tiles too, in combination with the Vikings. I mean, I've also been watching things like, The Last Kingdom and what's the I think it is just Vikings, isn't it? The comedy one that, is rather irreverent, but I think is absolutely hysterical. Hold on, I'm just picking up my bag so I don't lose a piece. So yeah, that is the gist of things. So if you've joined us later on in today's stream, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget, in the description below, I did make sure to put down information, relevant links, SKUs, MSRP, names, when you can expect things to release and everything like that. I'll probably go in and kind of add in a little bit more details for you as well, since we talked about a few more things. Next week, please tune in, and I'm going to be showing you some more unpainted miniatures from our Dungeons and Dragons Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures line. Those are scheduled to come out now in December, early December. So if you see some things that you really like and you want to check out, again, contact your FLGS, say, I saw these minis, I want to place a pre-order, I want to know when they'll be in, that type of situation. But I thought it'd be fun to take a look at those unpainted miniatures next week to give you an idea of what's to come, because there's some really fantastic sculpts that I cannot wait to share with you. The Viking set is coming out again early December, and it comes in its own box as its own. It's WizKids Deep Cuts Vikings, straightforward to the point, and you get all these lovely bits that I just showed you today. Highly recommend getting them, especially because it kind of just shifts the tone a little bit, especially with these columns and things like the tables having the furs on top of it. I very much see these as a fantastic accessory to use for things like Dungeons and Dragons Icewind Dale. It'd be great for that campaign because of the setting of Icewind Dale and the 10 towns and everything that goes in with that one. If you haven't yet, don't forget, there's this lovely thing called subscribe. Would love to have you subscribe, so just hit that subscribe button, and then don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you know when things are going live, like Mini Mayhem, which happens every Wednesday, as well as Much Ado About Gaming, which happens on Tuesdays, showing off some of our board games with Jessa Rose. And you'll also get notifications when we have videos go up as well, like our Scott Porter videos for Hero Clicks. I think that pretty much takes care of the usual housekeeping towards the end of the show. But thank you again, everyone, for joining me. It was great to see all of your questions and all of your comments. Really great points. And if you ever have questions, please be sure to find us on our socials. You can always check those out in the description as well. I've made sure there are links for you there. That all being said and done, I am going to wrap this up like I like to wrap it up every single time. I am Vee Mus'e. Thank you again. Be good to yourselves and be good to each other. And I will see you next week. Until then, everybody, bye-bye.